Winners and losers so far in free agency, Charean. Give me one that stands out for you and why as a winner.
Well, I'm going to start right there, Mike. I mean, why wouldn't you want to go to Tampa if you had the choice to go play with Tom Brady, go play with Gronk? I mean, you see that video, you're like, I'm all in. I want to go there. And I've lived in Tampa, covered the Buccaneers for 6 years. It's a great place to live. And hey, by the way, no state income tax. But I think the Bucs had a terrific offseason, probably the best offseason of any team because they were able to keep their guys intact. They got a chance to run it back again next year with the team they have. Chris Godwin with the tag. They re-signed Shaq Barrett, Levante David, Gronkowski, Ryan Suckup. They still could get Leonard Fournette and AB back if they want to do that. I saw AB over the weekend said, hey, don't give up on us. We may go back there too. So it's going to be fun to see what these Bucs can do next year because they're going to have all the pieces in place or most of the pieces in place that they had this year. I never in a million years thought they'd be able to do that, Mike. I thought they would either lose Chris Godwin or Shaq Barrett for sure.
I think in any other year, they wouldn't have been able to do it. This year, you didn't see a lot of spending just for the sake of spending. Business decisions manifesting themselves in football moves. This year, it feels like all of the moves have been football related, not, hey, we want to hold up someone's jersey and sell tickets. Although in Jacksonville, I kind of think they've done some of that. For the most part, it hasn't happened, and that's what kept a team from offering Shaq Barrett more money than the Buccaneers could or would pay. $17 million per year base value on that deal, $10 million per year, $10 million less than the top of the market, what the Chargers paid to Joey Bosa last year. So they benefited from this weird, strange, unusual year that the NFL is experiencing. And my first winner, a team with clear connections to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, at least as it relates to guys like Tom Brady and Rob Gronkowski, the New England Patriots. They've benefited from this crazy year by deliberately holding back cap space. $69 million is what they had. And as Robert Kraft told Peter King for Football Morning in America, they decided this is what they were going to do. And I love this quote. We always made fun of the teams that spent a lot in the offseason. So we know that nothing is guaranteed, and I'm very cognizant of that. So they made fun of teams who do what they're doing now. They're doing it now strategically. They're doing it because it's the right way to go. And, the issue they have with drafting and developing players, you don't need to worry about it if you get guys who are already developed and guys that you believe in and guys who can come in and hit the ground sprinting. And that's what they're doing. It's one hell of an experiment. It's either going to be exactly what the Patriots need or it's going to be a glorious disaster. Either way, it's a hell of a story. And 20 years of excellence in New England leads me to bet on the side of it working and them knowing exactly what they're doing and signing these guys, Charean.
You know what it all goes back to, Mike, though, is how good or bad at this point Cam Newton plays because he is their starting quarterback. Maybe they still go find another starting quarterback, but as of right now, it's Cam Newton. And to me, it's still all on his shoulders. I think they have a better team, but it's still all on his shoulders. Of all the Patriots signings or trades, they've done a ton of them. Who do you think is the best move that they made?
Well, I mean, I like the tight end acquisitions, Jonnu Smith and Hunter Henry, because that's what's been so glaring for them. And it feels like they've been struggling to get back to that point, especially as is clear with what they like to do. Multiple formations, pedal to the metal, go to a no-huddle offense when you can catch the defense in unfavorable matchups by moving these guys around who can do a lot of different things. And that's what really creates the potential for mismatches and can allow Cam Newton to grow in that offense if he ends up being the starter. But this team is better now. And they were 7-9 with a roster that was overmatched. Still 7-9. People think they were 3-13. They were 7-9. They're in position to make things happen. The AFC East is going to be very competitive this year, and the Patriots are a team that you can never completely overlook because of Bill Belichick and company. With these better players that they're going to plug right in, they're going to be ready when Tom Brady and company come to town this year when the Buccaneers face the Patriots in one of the biggest games of the season. And that game got even bigger with what the Patriots did last week. All right, give me another winner.
I'm going to go with Washington, Mike. And, I think they didn't see the quarterback market develop like they wanted. They didn't see that when they couldn't get on a Matthew Stafford. They said, all right, we're not getting our quarterback this year unless it's in the draft and he can sit. So we're going to go sign Ryan Fitzpatrick. He's going to be our bridge quarterback. We also have Kyle Allen, who we really like, Taylor Heineke, who we really like. So I think they like their quarterback situation in that now they can go in the offseason, or if they like one of the guys, if somebody falls to them in this draft, they can draft and groom him to be their future quarterback. But, Brandon Sharif, they tagged him. They re-signed Dustin Hopkins, and they got William Jackson and Curtis Samuel. I thought Curtis Samuel was one of the best receivers out there for what he can do, because he can do so many different things for you. So I like what Washington did. To me, they're still at the top of the NFC East right now. I would put them right there at the top of the NFC East. And we know the division's not very good, and that's not saying a lot. But I still would cast them as the favorite right now, Mike.
Yeah, I agree with you. And they just seem to be systematically and gradually getting better and getting the kind of players they want. And we'll see where it goes as this season approaches. Will it be Ryan Fitzpatrick? Will they stumble into somebody with their first-round pick that they decide becomes the Tua Tagovailoa to Fitzpatrick's veteran potential backup relief pitcher as the season approaches? For me, Dak Prescott was a big winner, and I don't think he had any idea what was coming. In hindsight, I can't help but wonder if the Cowboys hadn't franchise tagged Dak Prescott and had allowed him to become a free agent. Do you really think someone else would have offered him 4 years, $160 million, sight unseen, with that ankle that only the Cowboys know at this point is in sufficiently good condition? It's a hell of a lot of money to commit. And I don't think that all the praise of Jerry Charean for, he paid all that money because he alone knew that these TV contracts are coming. Bull crap. Everybody knew the TV contracts were coming. What really would have impressed me is if someone in Dallas would have said, you know what, the free agency market this year is going to suck, and no one's going to offer him what he wants. Let's just let him become a free agent. Let's call his bluff. Let's see if he would go take less than what we're offering right now from some other team like the Jaguars. Let's go ahead. If he wants to do it, go ahead. We'll find another quarterback. I think, Charean, if they had done, I hadn't really thought of that until just now. And it's easy for me to say because I'm not the one who would potentially be losing my franchise quarterback. But I think if they'd have let him become a free agent, they probably would have got him for less than what they paid him.
Well, and I said that at the time, Mike. I'm not going to be surprised if they don't franchise and let him do that. Because if you're another team, are you going to be all in and give him all that money without knowing where that ankle is? You're not going to know about that ankle until the end of April, early May. So it's not like you can go give the guy a physical and say, hey, run for us. Let's see how you do. You're not going to know. So to commit that type of money to Dak Prescott at that time, if you're another team, to me would have been a huge gamble. Now, I think somebody would have tried. I do think there would have been a team out there that would have gambled. Say a Washington, they actually offered Amari Cooper last year more money than the Cowboys did, and Amari went back to the Cowboys. He didn't have the injury problem that Dak Prescott now has, and he was healthy at the time. But I do think there would have been a team that would have rolled the dice. Would they have given him that much? I don't know. That's the question that we'll never be able to. Yeah, we'll never know the answer to that question. But it very well could have happened where he wouldn't have gotten that much money.
All right, give me a loser.
I think I'm going to start with the Texans, and this is clearly a rebuild, even though they've said that it's not a rebuild. But you start looking at all the acquisitions. Again, I've lost count. I know it's over 30, but I don't know exactly what it is, if it's 31, 32, or 35. But somewhere in the low 30s of the players they've acquired. You can't build a team like that. And a lot of these guys are 1 year and out the door. This is a total rebuild for this team. Who knows who their quarterback's going to be right now? It looks like it's Tyrod Taylor, right? With Ryan Finley as his backup, 2 more acquisitions. But it's going to be tough because they're going to have no on-field participation in the offseason again. So I don't know how you take 30 players of your 53 or whatever it's going to work out to be and expect them to be good this year, Mike.
Yeah, I agree with that, and they continue to be in a tough situation. The Chiefs are a team that I'm going to put in the loser category just because of really 3 things. One, they wanted Trent Williams. Patrick Mahomes got directly involved in recruiting Trent Williams. Trent Williams chose to stay with the 49ers. 2, they wanted Juju Smith-Schuster. Yes, they got involved late in a tug of war between the Steelers and the Ravens, but these are the Chiefs. These are the Chiefs. This is Patrick Mahomes. Juju, how do you not want to go play with Patrick Mahomes? Juju said no, 0 for 2. And then most recently, Josh Reynolds. Who? Josh Reynolds. The Chiefs tried to get Josh Reynolds, and he went to the Titans. 0 for 3 with guys that they wanted. Now, I know they got Joe Thuney, and they paid him a lot of money. But to have these other players, this idea that the Chiefs are this destination team, this super team that everyone's going to want to play for, and I want to go play for Patrick Mahomes, I think this shines off that, Charean, pretty loudly and pretty clearly.
Yeah, it's a great point, Mike. And then it looks like they could lose Sammy Watkins, too. He's going to take a couple visits here. So doesn't sound like that he's a guy they wanted to keep. They wanted another receiver to bring in here that they thought was an upgrade, and that hasn't happened yet. So we'll see what happens with these Chiefs. But I think clearly the Buccaneers, with what they've been able to do this offseason, have been a winner over what the Chiefs have been able to do.
All right, give me one more loser real quick.
I'm going to go with the receivers, Mike, and I just think these guys expected a bigger market than what they got. You wrote about Kenny Golladay today, and it looked like the Giants probably bid against themselves, and he got a good deal. But you look at Juju Smith-Schuster, signed a one-year deal. Will Fuller, one-year deal. I know these guys expected a lot more money on the market than what they got. There's a lot of guys still out there. T.Y. Hilton, Sammy Watkins, A.B. still out there. A lot of receivers still looking for deals, Mike.
Yeah, and the last one for me, running backs. Running backs not getting paid. We're not surprised that running backs don't get paid a ton of money, but this year it's Aaron Jones, and then Kenyon Drake, right? But Aaron Jones is the only one that got big money, and so many of these guys with recognizable names, 1-year and 2-year deals that don't pay very much at all. That's not atypical, but this year it's even more pronounced. These guys that we love to have on our fantasy teams, and we pay attention to their yardage and their touchdowns every week. Once they become free agents, teams look elsewhere to replace them.
Hi, I'm Mike Tirico, and thanks for watching. Make sure to hit subscribe for the latest news and highlights from NBC Sports.